Your sorrow will give way to joy unspeakable and full of glory. Saints, don't you know sometimes that the green pastures and the promises of God are actually happen on after going through the valleys of the shadow of death? That the promises and everything that God has for you sometimes has to go through valleys that are darkened where you don't see the sun shining and you don't know how long you're going to be in there and your heart is hurting and you don't see it. But the promises of God are yes, and in him are amen. He tells them, hold on. Because you're going to be sorrowful. Things are going to happen. But hold on. This is true in the situation of Jesus, and it is true in our lives as well. Actually, Jesus, a little later down in the same chapter, in verse 33, says, these things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. He's telling them the things that are going to happen so that when they happen, they can understand that, yes, he said this was going to happen, but he also said something else was going to happen. Have you ever been there where you're like, I know things may be rough at the time, but God said this was going to happen, and you're at the place, though, before it happens. You're in the middle of through hoping for the green pastures. The sun has gone down, but you're still yet hoping for green pastures and still waters. And he continues and he says, in this world, you will have tribulation. That doesn't sound like a passage that gives me peace. Didn't you just say, Lord, you've spoken these things so that I may have peace? In this world, I may have tribulation. That I'm going to have to suffer in this world, that things are going to happen in this world that I don't like, that I may get ill, that I may lose people, that I may lose jobs, that I may be in a state of turmoil where no one knows what's happening with the economy and I get laid off. These things, how does that bring me peace, Lord? And he says, be of good cheer, for I've overcome the world. What he's saying is no matter what we have to deal with here, and we will have to deal with things here, any gospel that tells you otherwise is not the gospel of Jesus. Any gospel that tells you that life is going to be just perfect, and if things aren't going perfect, then it just means that you don't have faith. That's not the gospel of Jesus. Jesus says that we will have some stuff to deal with in this world. That you can't walk through a pig pen and not get dirt on you. Amen? And how many know we walk in a pig pen? This world is not clean. This world is not holy. And it's becoming less and less so as the days go on. So as we go through this world, we will have things that splash on us from time to time. But he says, don't worry. Don't worry, because I've overcome everything that will come against you. I have overcome everything that this world holds up. I have overcome absolutely everything in this world. So take heart and hold on. And while the world may have been rejoicing over what they thought was victory, as he hung on the cross, I'm sure the ones who screamed, crucify him, were pleased. I'm sure the guards were pleased. I'm sure the religious establishment, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, were pleased and celebrating. Oh, we're done with this. We're finished. It's over. And they rejoiced over what they thought was a victory. but the rejoicing of the enemy would soon turn into sorrow. Because what Jesus did on the cross would overcome all the powers and principalities of the world. Colossians 2:15 says, having disarmed the principalities and powers, he made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them in it. Oh, the power of sin had been removed, and we have been saved from its penalty. We are free. Oh, someone say, I'm free. I'm free. I am free. Because who the Lord sets free is free indeed. We are free to walk in freedom. Free. The cross has removed our penalty, and we are free. Jesus declared our freedom. It will not always be this way, but the other feeling is that you'll never get over this. When you understand and you've even meditated the scriptures that say all things